Hi, and welcome back. In case you're wondering who Jim Lill is, he's here on YouTube. Go and watch his videos if you haven't yet. They're excellent. He recently dropped a bomb into the audio community with a video claiming that a vintage Neve preamp sounds the same as a Focusrite 2i2. Lots of people have their knickers in a twist over this. I've been asked to respond, so here it is. First thing to say is, he deserves a lot of credit for all the rigorous testing he did, but even more for piecing it all together into an entertaining and engaging video. He makes that look easy, but it isn't. As to his claims, there's no way I can refute them without rigorous testing of my own, and this is a low-effort video, so that's not going to happen. I have a hunch he might have got different results if he'd tested a 1073. That would be an interesting follow-up video. But I think I agree with him on the basic point that the importance of the mic preamp has been wildly overstated, and I think that's partly for historical reasons. Back in the 90s, shitty, cheap preamps really were shitty. They sounded shitty, or they hissed like a snake, or probably both. Ask me how I know. There was a sudden change when Mackie dropped the VLZ preamps, then later the Onyx. These were relatively cheap and cheerful, low noise, clean. If you can't get a good recording with Mackie Onyx preamps, it's not the preamps that are to blame. Here's a true story about tracking drums at a studio that it wouldn't be fair to name. They had 2 real vintage Neve 1073s racked up in pride of place, then a bunch of Focusrite ISA, and if you needed more, they got UAD Apollo preamps. So I patched my overheads into the 1073s, then used ISAs for all shells. Hi-hats got Apollo preamps. Then, while we were tweaking the setup, it became clear that not all was well with one of the 1073s. My right overhead kept losing gain randomly, then popping back again. I mean, not too surprising, considering those things are probably even older than me. We had everything patched already by then, and were almost ready to start tracking, so we ended up with my most important mics patched to the least prestigious preamps. And you know what? It was fine. I don't think it made any meaningful difference to the end result. So, here's my take. I'm not going to say that preamps don't ever make a difference. I'm going to say that if it's not a subtle difference, then the preamp is broken. And I got happier when I stopped worrying about that difference. My preference these days is to just have a whole bunch of identical and interchangeable preamps, whether built into a console or in a rack. It makes patching a studio session easier and more idiot-proof, and it allows me to focus more attention on stuff that actually matters a lot, like mic choice and placement. If I'm missing out on those magic 1073 harmonics, no bother, I can add those later. I'm going to go even further. I like it when the analog signal path is just 6 feet of mic cable before it hits a stage box and gets digitized. Analog consoles are lovely, obviously, but they mean analog multi-core and analog patch bay and loads more opportunity to pick up RF noise or other analog nasties. This is my own personal opinion and philosophy. If yours is different, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. Just before I go, I want to let you know that in the spirit of the topic, I patched in my old first-gen Focusrite 2i2 and recorded this voiceover with its built-in preamp. Thanks for watching.